This class tonight is a class pertaining to the miracles of God. In our study of the proof of God, we have come to the proof of God by power. And that led us into the lesson on the proof of God by miracles. We have discussed and discovered that everyone in the Bible who had an interaction with God experienced miracles. Miracles are for the Old Testament times, the New Testament times, for the church age in the days of the apostles, and for our times. We are given signs of the power of God and of the character of God, the wisdom of God, and the intent of God by God in his working of supernatural miracles. Tonight we're going to study, and we want to show you and prove to you that it is impossible to walk with God without experiencing miracles. Miracles are the sign of God. Miracles are the signature of God on the believers. Those who believe him will experience his miracles. The very situation of being involved with the eternal God, who is high above, who is all glorious and all powerful, the very experience with God constitute miracles, because God is high above the earth and God has all power. And because God has all power, God, in everything that he does with man, especially those things where he's revealing himself to man or calling man higher, requires man to be drawn out of the natural situation and drawn into a situation of the miraculous. Experience miracles when it came to God. There is no individual or group in the Bible or in life who can say they've walked with God and have not experienced the miracle working power of God. For example, in the Old Testament with the children of Israel, when they came to the Red Sea, where Pharaoh's host was behind them to take them and capture them and take them back into Egypt, the Lord was there and worked a miraculous miracle, a mighty act of God. He split the Red Sea and divided it to where the children of Israel could walk through on dry land where the sea was before he split it. This was a miraculous act of God, and that was done with the children of Israel. Then when they were out in the wilderness, God fed them and provided for them and gave them manna, which is a bread that came up on the ground. Some people call it angel's food. God provided for the children of Israel in the wilderness with miraculous power. The manna came early, and they received it, and they ate it, and it was nutritional to them. It was the miracle working power of God, a provision in the wilderness. He gave them quail meat. Quail meat fell on the ground, and it was accessible to them. They could take it and they could eat it. They were so full of quail that they had more than what they really needed. Then he led them by a pillar of fire by night and a cloud by day. This was a miracle of guidance where the Lord was leading and guiding the children of Israel. Every one of the persons in the Old Testament who was called by God was given a special guidance and direction. When there came to a point where they were being bitten by poisonous serpents that would kill them, these poisonous serpents were almost like the plague in the United States, coronavirus plague. But God told Moses what to do. He said, you lift up this serpent in the wilderness, put a brazen serpent on your rod and lift it up, and tell them if they lift it up and see him, they can be delivered. God caused, and God spoke to Moses out of a burning bush. This was miraculous. This is not normal. God spoke to him out of a burning bush. He was in the presence of the Lord. God worked through the miraculous in his relationships to Moses and the children of Israel. Aaron's rod turned into a serpent. When there was a rebellious group, Korah and the rebellious group that rose up against Moses, God rebuked them, but not only did he rebuke them, but he opened up the earth and it swallowed up the rebels. Anytime we have people who are rebelling against God and rebelling against us, they're in danger of being swallowed up by the miraculous power and judgment of God against those who do us wrong.